What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very, very much. And it's just a little dreary down here in the A-Town. You know, I'm here in Atlanta, and we're getting some rainstorms this week. But I wanted to make sure that I highlight Women's Health Month, all right? That's this month, Women's Health Month, making sure, ladies, that we're going to the doctors, that we're taking care of ourselves, and we're taking care of our whole selves, but also, you know, the boobies, all right? So we're taking care of our breasts, and shout out to all of the breast cancer survivors that are out there. I know several that are in my family and people that I hold really near and dear to my heart. And today we're talking to the founder and CEO of the Brobe, the wonderful Allison. Hey, Allison.
Hey there.
How's it going today for you?
It is going great. It's a little dreary here in Austin, Texas, too.
Yeah, I think the South is getting those showers.
Yeah, that's okay. My lawn likes it.
Oh, yes, definitely needs that. So, Allison, how did the Brobe start?
So I started the Brobe. I had the idea actually almost 20 years ago just to build a bra inside of a robe. As I said, I'm here in Austin. It is hot. During the summer, it's hotter than hot, and it's humid. And back 20 years ago, I was a new mom. I was a new wife. And I was working, all these odd-end jobs, working 2-3 jobs at a time, and we lived in this tiny little apartment in Fort Worth, Texas. And I would have to, every morning, whenever I would get ready, I would have to put a bra on under my robe because I like to get ready in my robe.
Right.
And but the problem with that was, at the time I was so young and I was so broke that I think I actually only had like 1 or 2 bras to my name. And I would sweat. I would just be dripping sweat. I'd get in the shower sweating. I'd get out of the shower sweating. And then I'd put, one of my nice bras on that I was going to wear throughout the day. And I hated it because it would just get all sweaty. And so I had this fleeting thought of, why can't there just be a bra inside of a robe? I could get out of the shower. I could throw one piece on. I could, I wouldn't care if it got makeup on it or sweat on it. I could lounge around in it. And I thought it was just an ingenious idea, so much so that I thought somebody had obviously already come up with this idea. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go buy one. And I spent the next 5 years searching for a bra inside of a robe. And every time I'd go shopping, I'd ask the people, do you have robes? Do you have pajamas? Something with a support system in it. And their response was always the same. It was always, no, but you're like the 1,000th person that's asked for something like this. And I just thought, this is insane. I remember leaving the mall thinking, I wish somebody would just come up with it. Never thinking in a million years it would be me. Just kind of going, okay, I guess I'll just wait around until somebody decides to make this. And fast forward years later, I still had the idea for a bra inside of a robe, still continuing to look for it. And I just happened to be having lunch with, at the time, this was years later, so I didn't have 2 or 3 jobs at the time. I just had 1 job. And I was sitting down having lunch with at the time she was, like a friend acquaintance, but she was a client. And I just started telling her that, about this bra robe idea. And she said, if you ever do something with that, you should do something for women with breast cancer. And I thought, well, that's strange. Why would you say that? And she said, well, I just finished my double mastectomy. And she said, I've had 2 reconstructive surgeries since. And with every single surgery, I had what's called JP drains. And I had no idea what she was talking about.
Right.
So she explained to me that what a JP drain is, and for anybody who is not familiar, it is It's a long tube that protrudes from your body, that releases fluid from your body so your body doesn't swell. And anybody could have a drain. Most people who have mastectomies will have at least one or two. Some have, 5 or 6. It just depends on the person. And so the fluid, comes out of your body and goes into, it looks like a little grenade, a little plastic grenade. And so a little grenade kind of fills up with fluid and you have to empty it out. And it can be painful and it can be cumbersome. And so she would just explain to me what it was like to have these 4 to 6 drains with every surgery. She would tape it to her skin, which would cause skin irritation, or she would have to pin them to the inside of her shirt, which would kind of cause some limited mobility. And so she just said, if you ever think about, creating this bra robe, maybe you should think about something for women with breast cancer. So she actually brought me a couple days later what they ended up giving her in the hospital. And, granted, this is all made by volunteers. It was literally free to her. But it was like kind of a makeshift camisole that was falling apart. It was this, very cheaply made bra that was not supportive and not comfortable. And so it just kind of lit this fire in me to see what was available for women going through this really kind of difficult and hard surgery. And so that was how it started. After I started doing the market research, I realized that there is a market out there for it. There's not a whole lot of products that are available that give women dignity and comfort, and that are feminine, fashionable. And that's what prompted me to just kind of start the prototype process. And then here we are almost 10 years.
Wow. That is amazing. And I mean, kudos to you and your team, because I know you're going through so many different prototypes to try to figure out what works, what doesn't work, materials and measurements and all these different things. So kudos to you and your team, because I know it's a lot. There's no way that it isn't.
It is a lot. I do not have a business background. I do not have, a design degree. And so it was really just, I knew in my head what I wanted and trying to bring it to life. And I ended up finding a seamstress, pattern maker who was here in Austin. And we worked for about 3 months on 3 different prototypes. And so after I had those prototypes, I can remember and at the time I was 3 months pregnant with my second daughter. And I remember her handing over the patterns and the prototypes, and she was like, okay, here you go. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? And she's like, I don't know. Good luck. And so I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And so not only did I start just going to Google and trying to find factories and just going down that rabbit hole, but I ended up calling Susan G. Komen Foundation, because at the time that was the only foundation I knew of that that worked with breast cancer patients. And so I called them up here in Austin and I said, I have these prototypes. Can I come in and you tell me what you think? And so I did. And they had brought in a woman who had just had the week before, she had just had a mastectomy, and she was young. She was in her 20s, and her breast cancer had run in her family, and so it was just all very raw and new to her. And she tried them all on, and she literally turned around and said, you have to make these. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. So before I could even get to the elevator, I called my husband and said, I hope you're ready to peanut butter and jelly it for as long as we have to, because I'm going to quit my job and not bring home salary, and I'm going to start this business.
Amazing. Wow, that's incredible. So, like you said, a decade later, and you're still changing lives. I read somewhere over 50,000 women nationwide here in the U.S. have been touched by the Brobe. So I love that.
Yes. It's definitely been a ride.
Yeah.
You know, I could go on and on about, you know, starting a company and what to do and what not to do and what I've learned. But at the end of the day, you know, for as many times as there have been struggles, in every small business does, or every business, you know, does, that, you know, hearing from customers. I actually just got an email this morning, you know, from a customer that was, they're just so beyond appreciative. And it really has, you know, it makes you humble, and it makes you realize, okay, I'm actually doing something that I can be proud of. And so, you know, so it what started with one product, which is our signature product called the Recovery Brobe, has kind of transformed into these products with a mission and a purpose. And, you know, I think in 2019, I think we donated around $40,000 of product to just foundations and women who couldn't afford it, you know, otherwise.
Right.
And we have a lot of different accessories, and we don't just focus now on breast cancer patients. It's open heart surgery and organ transplants and cosmetic surgery and all of that. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been really, really rewarding as well.
Absolutely. So, Allison, what's next for you guys?
Oh gosh. Well, our newest product is it's kind of like the Recovery Brobe, but it's actually for kids.
Okay.
I have 3 children, and have always wanted to do something for kids who are in the hospital for a long period of time. Not just necessarily for kids with cancer,
right,
but kids who have just their chronic disease. So I wasn't planning on launching this kids line in 2022, but we actually launched it in December of 2020, and it's called the Superhero Robe.
Aww.
It is it's gender neutral. It can fit kids anywhere from 3 to 9 years old. So we have 4 different sizes.
Right.
And what makes this so awesome is the inside of, so how the Recovery Brobe has pockets that are inside of the robe they're sewn in, and they're there to hold the JP drains.
Mm-hmm.
The child's robe has, if you think of a robe opened up, it has 8 sets of snaps. And it comes with 4 different pockets that also have snaps on it. So you can snap the pocket wherever it would be convenient for a child. So if a child has their appendix removed and has drains coming out of their stomach or you know, or their chest or wherever it might be, then it can accommodate the monitors or the drains. If a child has, you know, any type of surgery where they might have, you know, drains coming through their back or wherever. So it can, you know, Crohn's disease is another one with a ostomy bag. So it can accommodate a lot of different monitors and drains per child. But then it also has snaps on the sleeves coming from your wrist all the way up to the collarbone, and that's so caregivers, doctors, nurses can get to their little ports or can do IVs or blood pressure cuffs. But then each robe comes with 2 interchangeable superhero capes, 2 doctor cups, and a superhero eye mask. So that is our newest line. It's actually called the Elliott Superhero Robe. It was named after a little girl here in Austin who was the first recipient of our prototype of this, and her name is Elliott. And at 3 years old, she had stage 4 lung cancer, and she actually beat it last year.
All right, go ahead, Elliott.
Yeah, so we named it after her. I met her, just fell in love with her and her family, and so we have a give back program. It's at brobekids.com, and where people can, you know, donate, you know, $5, $10, $100, whatever it is, to go towards a robe. And we have actually given out over 200 robes to kids who are in the hospital, and not one family has had to pay for it.
Amazing.
And that's our donation program. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes. Now, Allison, where do people need to go if they need to go ahead and get the Brobe or maybe the Brobe for the kids?
Yeah, so they can go onto our website, which is thebrobe.com. That's TheBrobe.com, or they can also visit brobekids.com.
I love it. And also, Allison, are you guys on social media as well?
Oh, yes. We are on Brobe International on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, now TikTok.
All right.
Erica, my thing is TikTok, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we are. We're on. So.
Absolutely. Much more success to you and your team, Allison. I definitely want you back when there's another announcement. I know that there's going to be stuff happening and developing, and maybe we can't talk about it today, but I definitely want you back.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. And thank you to each and every one of you guys for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.